Hello everybody, Rob6983 here, and we're back for the final episode of Kirby Superstar Ultra. In the last episode we covered co-op, and it was also, I had to do post-editing commentary for it. And in this one we're going to have to do the same because I recorded both of those videos the same day. I didn't even realize I had the voice changer on. Let me just double check on that really quickly. Cool, I don't have it on. Perfect. But in this episode, we are going to be covering the true arena. Last time we did the arena and helper to hero, but this time we're going to be doing the true arena. Like I said previously, the reason we couldn't do the true arena before is because, well, we had to unlock all the other bosses from the other modes, like Galactonite, Wham Bam Jewel, and Mask Easy. So now we can actually tackle this. Do not underestimate this mode because it is actually incredibly tricky. The first few bosses you may not think it's that hard, but it's the last four that are like the most troublesome out of all of them. You'll understand why when we get there, because if you haven't already seen this video is 45 minutes long. That's as much as I wanted to shorten it down. I technically could have separated like the failed runs and the actual proper run that I did into two videos, but I was like, no, I just want to end this off. So lo and behold, 45-minute long video. So I'm gonna let you all know right now, don't really worry about your abilities because at some point in this run you are going to lose your helper regardless. If you want to keep your helper, then you should have the ability that you want for your helper at all times until you beat the boss that I'm going to talk about, which is Kabula. Also, there is a moth on my screen, and I don't even know how it got in my room, but it is in my room now. I need to get it out. But first and foremost, we have Krako's Revenge. But yeah, like I said, you're going to lose your helper regardless because of the Kabula fight. You don't get to keep your helper. It immediately gets removed from your side. But yeah, these bosses are going to be a lot tougher. You've already seen them in the playthrough, what they're capable of. You know how they're a lot faster, a lot tougher than the original boss. Right now it's just going to be, a normal run until, I end up losing eventually. Because this is definitely not the first run that I get all the way through. I actually spent about 1 hour and 20 minutes recording this because I kept losing and felt like the only thing I could condense off of that entire recording was 40 minutes because the majority of it was literally just going back and forth between all of it. Right there where I was just crouching in front of the Naughty, I'm trying to tell you that you only get one ability in this room, by the way. Only one. Because the other ability will always be Naughty, the sleeping ability. And yeah, so if you want to swap abilities between, preparing for the next boss fight, you only get one. So be careful. You need to keep the abilities that you want to use for as long as possible. Otherwise, you don't really get much of a choice in like that lobby room. Also, you only get normal tomatoes. You do not get a metamato. And after you use that normal tomato, you do not get another healing item after that. So use those, I believe it's 5. Use those 5 very wisely. I would highly recommend have all of them for the last 4 boss fights. If you can help it, keep all 5 of those for the last 3 boss fights because the 4th boss fight is, I want to say, the easier out of all of them. Right here, we're going to be facing off against Lololo and Lalala. This should be a pretty easy boss fight. There's a lot of boss fights that you should not be taking damage from. Maybe your helper should take damage. If you are the player too, then you should also not be taking damage because these are pretty easy boss fights to not get hurt by. Okay. Here it seems like, well, it's it's just pretty basic, pretty simple. It's just beating Lololo and Lalala one last time. it seems like the helper doesn't really understand, moving away from the Gordo. That way it doesn't get hurt. And since there's nothing for the helper to copy, it just loses, or rather, faints. Same with Lololo. It lost all its HP. But I'm really sad that I had to re-record this because there was a lot of emotion going through my head throughout this entire recording. Like, having to redo everything multiple times because I couldn't beat all the bosses on the first try, not even on the second or the third try. And then after all is said and done, I was like, finally, it's over. And then I go to start editing the first video, which was the co-op video, and then I hear, what the heck is wrong with my voice? I don't sound like this. And then I'm like, okay, is this for this co-op episode, or is it for this one too? I went in and I was like so heartbroken. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is not happening. Because all my hopes and dreams were crushed at that point, and I did not want to record more of the helper, not the helper, but the true arena, because I had just been at it for over an hour. So yeah, you could definitely tell that I was very distraught. But here I was, I was with my head up high, pretty confident that, it'll be kind of tricky at the end, all that stuff. And then here we go to fight more of the mini bosses. This is Mr. TikTok, I want to say. I'm not sure. I don't remember this guy's name. I always want to remember it, but I can't quite remember it too well. Yeah, it's a shame because Kirby Nightmare and Dreamland was one of my most favorite Kirby games. And the few starting points for me. It wasn't the first one, but it was one of the first few that I played. And it definitely holds a nice place in my heart. Fan just tossed me halfway across the arena, and then Knuckle Joe didn't save me once, even though I saved Knuckle Joe multiple times from Fan's grasp. You gotta love the computer player. This should be the last one of the Twin Lions. This one should be pretty easy. I got a little too cocky there, thinking that the command grab would actually take out the lion, but it in fact did not. I think there I'm just trying to get the helper wing, and then they didn't take it, so I inhaled it again. Recently I had a really sucky experience. I'll share it right now because there's not much happening on the screen. It's just, Krakow Jr. again. But my sister and I, we went to the gym that recently, and later on in the afternoon she was like, oh well, I didn't prepare dinner, so come with me to this restaurant to go get an order that I placed with me. And then my husband said, go give your brother some boba. And I was like, okay, sure, why not, I'll go. And I was like, I won't decline free boba. Free boba is free boba, and I'm very happy to take that. And it's not a place that we normally go to, so we were just like, okay, well, let's see how this place tastes. Let's see how well it goes. I ordered strawberry with tapioca, strawberry boba. I was like, well, since I don't really know this spot, it should be pretty easy to get strawberry boba right, because it's literally just strawberry. And I'm in the car, my sister's like, how does it taste? You haven't tasted it yet. And I'm like, all right, here I go for the taste test. I don't know how you mess up the flavor strawberry. I don't know how you messed that up. I was like, okay, well, maybe it's the tapioca they made it extra sweet. That's really cool. No, it was that the drink tasted incredibly sweet, but in a bad way. It almost tasted like the strawberries have gone bad if they were just using pure raw strawberries. I'm not sure, but it did not taste good at all. Right there, I kind of fumbled because I got inhaled by King DDD. I thought I was free there to get out of stone form, but it was really bad. And I told my sister, I was like, yeah, this is really bad, and I don't want to drink this. But I ended up drinking the whole thing because I was like, well, it's free for me at least. I will drink it regardless. And then she went home and she was like, I mean, I didn't order anything because, you know, I was full, but I got my husband something in there because he wanted one as well. And she was like, yeah, I got him taro. And then when he got home, she was like, bruh, this also tastes horrible. Well, not only did they mess up strawberry, but they also messed up taro. And right then and there, we were like, yeah, we're never going back there to, you know, order boba from them ever again, which is incredibly weird because we had another experience. Oh, by the way, this is Wham Bam Jewel. We had another experience where we went to a hot wing spot to get boba because we didn't want to drive all the way to, where was it? We didn't want to go to our go-to spot because it was a little bit out of the way from where we were. So we went to a hot wing spot that was near where we were, and we were like, okay, well, it says they sell boba. Let's try them out. And surprisingly, like their boba is like kind of smoothie-like. And it took them a long time to make it because like it was only like one Asian man like in the kitchen in the back taking all the orders, and there was like 5 people ordering or like had like to-go orders and whatnot. So he was like the only person like there taking orders and like in the kitchen. So it was taking him a very, very long time to do it. But bless his soul, he made like one of the best like smoothie boba drinks of all time. And I was like, yeah, I love this. We need to come back for more. And then when I got home, I feel like I've shared the story before. When I got home, I dropped it. Just like I died right here. I dropped the ball here. That is me losing to Wham Bam Jewel. And then here is me on my second run after defeating King DDD, going into fight Wham Bam Jewel again. But when I got home, I dropped it on like the floor and I wasn't even done with it. I was like halfway done. And then like, how, you know, I was so excited because I was like, oh my gosh, this is so good. I really like this. It's like very interesting that a wing spot would have really good like smoothie boba, but and I was like, okay, sure. And I dropped it and I was like the most heartbroken person in existence. Like I was so happy because I was like, oh, this is a new boba spot, neat. And then it just all like plopped on the floor and I was like, oh no. And like we had to do like the shameful cleanup of the product that was on the floor, and like I just looked all sad at it. There was like a teensy tiny bit left in the cup, but like the majority of it was lost onto the floor and like the floor was sticky. It was just a really awful experience and I was like, that really sucks. But you know, I mean, that happens sometimes. It's a shame that, you know, moving your drink happens, but I mean, it does happen. A lot of boba stories actually, or I guess sweet stories. Like for example, my sister and I recently went to go to a new spot that we found. It's a sweet spot, like a spot that primarily, you know, serves mostly sweets. It's not only like boba and whatnot. I got a beverage and I thought it was hilarious, the name of it. I'm not gonna say the name of it, but it was incredibly good. It was like, I think it was a banana smoothie with caramel inside, I think is what it was. That was really, really good. And I think I also ordered some strawberry crepes from that spot. It was really good for the price. Granted, the service there was kind of eh. It was like, I said my order out loud, like really loud. I think that way they could hear. And there it is like, I'm sorry, can you say that again? And then I didn't want to repeat the name because it was so goofy. You know those spots where it's like the name of the thing that you want to get is like, it's like the most ridiculous name in all of existence for like a drink. Also, I died there to Wham Bam Jewel again. Here is me going back and, you know, just at the end of the third run, actually beating Wham Bam Jewel. But it was one of those names where like you're kind of embarrassed to say it because it's like, oh, that's such a silly name. I don't want to say it out loud. And like the person who was cleaning was like, I'm sorry, can you say that again? I almost feel like they knew that like that fear was in my heart to like say it. But like jokes on them, I said it like even louder with like my outdoor voice. And I feel like them hearing that was like they backed off immediately. And they're like, okay, I got it. But yeah, like I definitely feel like they were trying to get me to be embarrassed from saying the name of the drink because they knew it was that embarrassing. But like I doubled down on it and made them like, look bad because they were just like, oh well, we didn't hear it, so it's our fault. But granted, I really did love the drink or smoothie, whatever. Also, this is Galactonite. Remember when I said that when you were playing as Meta Knight, you know, it's a lot easier because you could just heal whenever and you know, use the mock tornado or whatever it was called. Yeah, without all of that, it's a lot more tougher of a boss fight. I was doing really well here, honestly, and then Galactonite does this. That does a lot, and then he did it twice in a row. That honestly felt very, very, very unfair. I lost almost all of my HP just solely based off of that one attack, and it did not feel like it was deserved. And I kind of feel like, you know, that shouldn't be coded into the game, but it is. It's whatever. But yeah, here is, I guess, a proper attempt at going for Galactonite. But yeah, aside from like, you know, the drink name being silly and from the service being a little, you know, questionable, because I definitely felt like they were trying to get like a laugh out of me for saying such a ridiculous name of a drink. All things considered, I think that was honestly a really nice spot and I definitely would go again. But that, like saying that entire experience kind of reminded me of a meme where it's like this guy who's trying, he was like basically the same scenario that I had, except, you know, it wasn't with a beverage. But there's a meme out there, I don't remember like entirely what it was like, but it's essentially same scenario or similar scenario, but the cashier is like, could you repeat it? And like they tried to describe what the drink was, and he was like, nah, I want to hear you say it. I want to hear you say it. And he was like, please, bro, I don't want to say it. He's like, nah, say it out loud. I know what it is. I just want to hear you say it. And he was like, I'm not going to give you what you want until you tell me what it is. I want to hear it from your own mouth. That meme was, it's honestly, it's very hilarious. I don't entirely remember what it's called. Speaking of looking for memes, I'm pretty sure most of you know. And if you don't know, well, I guess here's information for you. I really like watching Simple Flips, if that wasn't very obvious. I really do like watching his videos. I think they're very hilarious, and I spend lots of time just, you know, watching them while doing my own thing. Here I take the hit instead, you know, from the mock tornado, or I think from Galactonite. That way I don't take, you know, that much recoil damage. But I almost died there. It comes down to like the last moment. But speaking of Simple Flips, there is one video that I just cannot find at the moment. I cannot find it at all. And it's been bugging me because I know exactly what happens on the screen, but every time I try to look it up or find a way to try to look it up, it's really tough. I just can't end up finding it. I'll describe it in a moment. There is a cutscene here. This is Marks falling into the Nova, you know, and it exploding. And here is Marks floating in outer space, you know, after being defeated. Well, Marks is, I guess, absorbing something, becoming like a big globe of stuff. I don't know how else to describe it other than a big globe. And it kind of looks like the same form that we fought originally in Milky Way Wishes, but it looks a little different, just a teensy tiny bit different. background here is just so beautiful. Like whoever, I always say this, but whoever makes these backgrounds or like these settings, they did a great job. He absorbed a Nova's power to bring back his evil soul. This really is the last battle. That is the description. If you pause just about every boss fight in the game, or Kirby games usually, there will be something of like a description telling you stuff about the boss that you're fighting at that point in time. This is essentially the same boss fight, but Mark's is way tougher. This is actually Mark's soul, so you know. Kirby games really like doing that, where the last fight will usually be against the soul of the main antagonist of the game. Like for this one, it's Mark's soul. I'm not gonna spoil other Kirby games, but just know they do it as well in Triple Deluxe. They do it in Planet Robobot. They keep the same concept of so-and-so's soul. It's essentially what I'm trying to get at. They do it a lot in Kirby games. That's all I'm trying to say. Also here, if I haven't described this already, you can get paint from these balls that fall from the sky. But what I was saying is the video that I'm trying to find is one, and I don't know why this specifically got like, is like an earworm in my brain. It's a video where he's playing with one of his friends named Foxen, where his friend just kind of like exclaims to himself, he's like, I suck dick, I do. And then like there's like a picture of an old man that pops up. He's just like, oh. I don't know why, but that's just like ingrained into my brain bars. It's just, I cannot get that out of my head, and no matter how much I try, I've tried looking through so many videos, but I don't know, maybe I just have really bad luck. I cannot find it. But like, that's been my journey for like maybe 2 weeks now. I cannot find it. I'm still trying to, you know, go through all the videos that have his friend included in there. I cannot find it. I don't know if anybody is willing to help me in this journey to, you know, find that piece of media. If you do, please put it in the comments because I cannot find it. If you do end up finding that specific video, please let me know. It will be of major help to me. But yeah, I think that is all I wanted to share. This Mark's fight is honestly pretty tough. I'm pretty sure I don't win this. It takes a very long time to take care of Mark's just because he's way bulkier than you would assume. It's like fighting Mark's but with 2 health meters instead of just the 1. Like it definitely feels like he has double the HP that he would normally have. I think that is all I realistically wanted to say. Even though I've taken him to like half of his HP, and I have a little under half, I accidentally thought that he was going to do a different attack there instead, and I just got slammed by the laser. The more damage Mark's takes, the faster he gets. So be very careful. That's an ability, or that's an attack that happens in quite a few Kirby games, but I believe this was probably one of the first times that that's ever happened, where it's like the 2 balls that like one goes from one is on the top half of the screen, the other is on the bottom half of the screen. It's a very common attack in Kirby games as final bosses. But yeah, you can definitely see how I'm struggling. It comes very close to, you know, me beating Mark's. Then things happen. I don't necessarily win. It was really close. That's why I said don't underestimate this boss, just because it is incredibly, or rather, this boss rush, because it is incredibly, you know, easy to just lose when you're going to start all over from the beginning, and it's just a lot of rinse and repeat. But yeah, that's why I said don't let your guard down. Do not underestimate this boss fight. I think there I used paint, but since March was in his ball form, he didn't take any damage, unfortunately. Yeah. I think here I get hit by... Never mind. It's somewhere that I get hit by something for like a lot of damage and I can't recover. I want to say maybe it's another one of those giant lasers. I always say run away from that, but I've never actually been captured by like the black hole thing that Marks does. I've just about run out of steam, honestly, for things to say. So it's pretty much just, you know, watch this fight until the very end. Oh, I got hit by the return. That's what it was. And then I got hit by the cutter. But I did cut it very close, no pun intended. I have to take a hydration break because I've been talking nonstop. But this is in fact the run that I do to win, you know, for everything. I don't know how else to explain it other than just for all the boss fights. Essentially, I win them all. I've honestly been underestimating Fighter for a very long time in this game. I know it's really good for the other games like for Kirby Return to Dreamland and, you know, for Triple Deluxe, because the uppercut into like the downward kick is just a very, very, very good combo for those games. But I've been incredibly underestimating just the neutral attack, which is just kind of like a wave of attack forward. I don't know why, but it does a lot of damage and it covers a lot of area. So I really don't know why I haven't been using that often, but it's just incredibly good. And you get to see that I actually do keep it for almost all the boss fights. I think later on I do end up losing it, but I use it for a lot of the boss fights and it's just so helpful. I think I even do 1 to 2 boss fights without the helper because I'm just that confident in just, you know, using the B button and that's it for those fights. Like Jim there is just about done with his HP, but I was able to save him. Save the robot with the cap and the yo-yo. There's Kabula. We end up losing Jim regardless. And I will admit, although I am a little embarrassed to say it, in one of my run-throughs, and I cut it out just because it was a little too embarrassing, I ended up losing to Kabula, and it was only the second boss. That is incredibly embarrassing on my part. I think I was just a little too drained and a little too over it, and like I was to the point where I was just not saying any commentary at all because I was that drained that I was just like, oh, I just want this to be over. I think it was immediately after I lost to Marks. I had lost all of my steam to keep going. But yeah, there I give my ability of Fighter to Knuckle Joe just because I think doing your up B with Hammer, it's just incredibly good at killing bosses. It's actually one of the best abilities to do the boss rush in Kirby Triple Deluxe. I saw a video a very long time ago showing that off, and I was like, huh, this seems pretty easy to use Hammer as, you know, as a way to get a really fast time in Kirby Triple Deluxe on both Arena and the True Arena. And I did actually get really fast times for both of them because I saw a video of a random Japanese person using Hammer and it was just incredibly good. I was like, oh my gosh, that looks really cool. I want to do that. And then I did that, but with way less impressive of a time. But I did get a pretty good time regardless. I think I got like a time of 6 minutes, I want to say. For like the True Arena, maybe it was something like that. But you essentially keep Hammer for the entire time. Here I got incredibly lucky. My voice kind of cracked there. Here I got incredibly lucky where I was able to get Fighter for myself and just give the ability Hammer to my helper. That way I could just, you know, continuously spam neutral B. And like I said, I definitely feel like I've been underestimating Fighters because you can even spam the attack in the air. It covers so much area of the screen. It's just so helpful. And there goes Bonkers sacrificing himself for the good of the company. Man, I cannot stop praising those backgrounds. Like the one for the Crackle fight is just so beautiful. You can see back there, there's some lightning there. Here, we actually get to the Mass DDD fight. This is the last 4 members. 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. No, the last 4, the strong 4 people of, you know, the true arena. The big threats, the head honchos, the Slurpee Chirpy, the Hippo Gym. I don't even know what that means. But, you know, the last 4 that you have to deal with. The ones that are actual threats. All the others were just kind of like a pre-workout or pre-game, whatever it is. I think it's pre-game. But yeah, here it is. This is the last 4 boss fights before, you know, we're done with the game. And I should correct this because I end up correcting it later on in the video, but you don't exactly have to get, you don't actually have to beat Helper to Hero with every helper to get 100% for your save file on Kirby Superstar Ultra. It is actually that just beat it once and then beat the True Arena once as well. You know, completing all the modes at least once will get you the 100% completion bonus. But if you want like a proper 100% completion bonus where you can get the bloopers as well, what you do is complete all the Helper to Hero what is it? All the Helper to Hero versions. Speaking of that, if you all are interested in seeing a Helper to Hero video where I go through the Helper to Hero mode with, I don't know, 1 to 3 other abilities, let me know, because I definitely would not be opposed to the idea. I definitely love playing through that mode with all the other helpers, but I'm not gonna do all of them, just a few if you all are interested. Or if you all want like separate dedicated videos to all of them, I will do it, but it's just dependent on how many people want it. Like I said, I'm not opposed to it. It's just if the demand is high enough, I will do it. But I guess I will save that for foreseeable future, because as of this point in time, I will stop focusing on Kirby Superstar Ultra and put all of my attention towards Super Paper Mario, because that is a project that has been 2 months more or less in the making, and I just want that project to, you know, be completed, or rather start working on the completion of, you know, everybody's voice lines. That way I can start recording normally, see how I want to focus on it, or see how I want to tackle it, you know, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, if you all do want me to do like Helper to Hero with a bunch of other helpers, let me know. I will probably do it sometime afterwards, like in the future, if I definitely see that the demand is high enough for it. Here, he's trying to do the tornado attack. I don't know why I didn't get out the way. Here I got hit by it twice. I don't know why I let myself do that. Knuckle Joe kind of saving me there. Knuckle Joe, will I let you perish, or will I... Ooh, I actually do end up grabbing you. But yeah, if you all want it, just let me know. I'll do it later on if you all really want me to. Otherwise, this will be the last episode for Kirby Superstar Ultra with a 45-minute video. There's still like 12 minutes left. If you all are still watching, thank you so much for watching, for staying here. You know, I know not everybody likes watching these very, very, very long videos, but I felt like it was very much necessary to do this. That way we could just, you know, close the pages, you know, close everything that needed to be covered for this series and just start on a new series, because I don't know, I just definitely felt like this was the time where I just needed to stop. I think here I really wanted to use Fighter as my ability, but I ended up giving it to the helper and then just keeping Hammer. And then if I ever needed to swap it out, I guess I would just take it from the helper. Here I ended up getting into the fight with full HP perfectly. and tackling Marks. I think that was the best case scenario that could have ever happened. I have no idea how I didn't lose that much HP. I guess other than just fighter is incredibly good for this. But here we are again versus Mark's soul. Or Mark's soul. I don't know. I want to say it's Marx's, but they didn't put that apostrophe S. But yeah. There's nothing much I can add aside from just best of luck if you get here. I know this can be really tough. And I guess good luck to you. But here's I guess my attempt at winning. Knuckle Joe's gonna get hit here by the roses, by the vines full of roses. You can definitely see that we've gotten through a lot of Marx's HP a lot more quicker. Or a lot more quickly, I think is the correct way to say it. Here you could see that, you know, the helper isn't getting any sort of ability to become paint assistant. A paint assistant, I don't know what you call those. If you're an artist, tell me what your assistant would be called other than just, you know, an assistant. But here I'm just kind of getting a little too cocky and, you know, just using my upbees as Kirby, you know, like the strong fire attack, and just seeing if I can finish Marks off without making a helper. But I think I end up actually making a helper and getting another ability. But these backgrounds are really, really cool. Like, you could definitely like tell that like it looks like a final battle here is happening. Like the background is distorted. There's a scream. But yeah, I can never stop gushing about it, and you will never hear the end of it from me. That I absolutely love the backgrounds in Kirby because they're so good. Here I use paint. It doesn't actually kill Marks. It just damages him a little bit more. Oh, I guess it didn't even damage him. Maybe he was just going into his intangible form. Okay, it's just a little bit left. And I was like, bonkers, come on, please just do something, anything right there. And then I was like, fine, I'll do it myself. But then I realized Marks becomes incredibly intangible and starts spamming a lot of moves or movement options to the point where he cannot get hit. So in case you think the boss fight is over, it takes a lot more than just, you know, getting him near death to actually do it. You have to time your attack perfectly at the end, or else they just will not let you win. And there's the scream that we've all been waiting for. That's it. With a time of 9:50, we are the champions. We have beaten the true arena. Not bad. It's definitely not the fastest time. I'm pretty sure like 4 minutes of that was literally just spent on Marks. But yeah, this took me, like I said, an hour and 20 minutes. But we are done with Kirby Superstar Ultra. This is the video that you get when you 100% the game. You can see Marks, Knuckle Joe, Meta Knight, King DDD, one of the baby birds of Dynablade, Kirby, Waddle Dees. There's a lot of people in the crowd actually, if you pay attention. But that's it. We have mastered Kirby. Not bad. We get the special edition bloopers reel. Oh, I guess you didn't even have to do Helper Hero to do that. You get the Kirby Master movie. Not bad. And with that, we are done. Here is the special editions blooper reel for you all. And I guess here I will do my thoughts on the project. So what did you all think? Did you all like Kirby Superstar Ultra? I know I sure did. Every time I play through Kirby games, I just gush about, you know, my enjoyment. This moth is on my screen still. I definitely do want to obliterate it. But normally, you know, from time to time I get kind of emotional through these. moments at the end where I'm, sharing my thoughts on the project. But this time, I don't think I'm gonna, get emotional on you. I think I've enjoyed this. Every time I play Kirby games, they're just so much fun. I don't think I can show my emotions about this game better aside from just saying it was a lot of fun. Every time I play Kirby, I can only describe it as fun. And I really want a lot of people to get into Kirby just because, it's very beginner friendly. And if you want to get into like the tougher stuff, there are the options to do so. You can do the arena, the true arena, things like that, or you can play the game in like harder difficulties, like with the Revenge of the King, or in other games where you can play on like the extra difficulty for like certain games, all that stuff. You can play the Kirby games a lot more tougher, but that's for more veteran players. But I definitely feel like this series is very, very, very beginner friendly. And if you all are ever thinking about or considering, playing these games, I highly recommend you do, because every time I play them, I've never had a dull moment. I've always found them so much fun. And, they're short and sweet. They have like very cutesy things happening. I love everything about, Kirby games because they're always so much fun. But that was it for the bloopers. I believe there is one extra thing that you can get, which I think is what I meant when I said the helper to hero mode. There I go to the other save file that I have, which I have 100%ed with everything for helper to hero, with everything, just everything I've completed. You can tell if you've 100%ed the helper to hero mode by a giant ribbon on your save file, or with a giant ribbon on the helper to hero box itself. I'm gonna go over there in a moment to show you, but you don't necessarily have to do it. The only thing you unlock are all of the cutscenes from the original Kirby Superstar in your what is it? In the movie area, whatever it's called. But aside from that, there's nothing else. I think I actually do end up showing them off, before we close things off for the channel. Yeah, there I go, showing you that the giant ribbon is there. And the theater, that's what it's called. The original Kirby movies is right between the Kirby Master and the grand opening. It's the same thing. The SNES graphics instead. I'm going to take a big sip of water now because I have been talking for a very long time. That's one thing that I really do want to get better at, because I've been looking back at a few of my videos and I've seen, I'm good at, doing like the gameplay stuff, but also I kind of suck at talking sometimes. Like, I like to think that I'm good at entertaining, but sometimes I go back and I'm just like, well, there's a lot of lull in the conversation. I need to talk more, keep the void from being too quiet, all that stuff. But I'll get better at it as time goes on. Here's hoping that sooner rather than later, because you all are the ones watching my content and I want to keep you all entertained, and not just keeping you in a very boring video of like, oh my god, it's just somebody else's gameplay and they're not even doing that good, all that stuff. If I'm not able to keep you entertained with the gameplay, then I hope I'm able to keep you all entertained with the with the talking. There we go. I also really want to say that is Mr. Shine and Mr. Bright. Nobody will convince me otherwise, because like I said, those are the only moons that pop up in the Kirby series. Also, I just now realized my freaking AC unit in my room was set to 80 degrees. No wonder I'm freaking scorching in this room. because I was too dumb to look at the number, and I was like, ah, I wonder why it's so high. Well, I wonder why I'm sweating in my room. It's because I freaking had the number too high. Yeah, that is it from me. Next project, you already know what it is. It's going to be not Kirby Superstar. It's going to be Super Paper Mario. So that's it from me. Next time, which will be in a few weeks, maybe a month, at least give me a minimum of 1 month to prepare this, because there's still a few more things that I need to, get prepared before I'm done and, ready to record for you on, post Super Paper Mario on my channel. But that is it for me. Next time, we'll do that. So until next time, see you all then for Super Paper Mario.